We're going to work on a Power Automate flow that will send email notifications for important tasks in a SharePoint list, but only for tasks that are not marked as low priority. Specifically, we want this flow to trigger when a new task is created in our SharePoint project tasks list, but to skip any tasks whose titles end with the words low priority. This is useful because it prevents unnecessary emails for lower priority tasks, letting team members focus on what needs their attention the most. We'll also make sure that notifications aren't sent for tasks that are completed, and we'll handle cases where there may not be an assigned user. This way, our flow avoids any errors from missing information. Now let's dive into Power Automate and build this flow step by step. Setting up the SharePoint list fields. Before starting, let's look at the fields we're working with in our project tasks list in SharePoint. Title. This is the name of the task, and we'll use this field to check if the title does not end with low priority. Assigned to. This is where we specify who is responsible for the task. If this field is empty, the flow should avoid sending an email. Status. This tracks the task's stage, like not started, in progress, or completed. We'll use this to skip notifications for tasks marked completed. Due date. This is the deadline for each task. We'll include this information in the email to keep recipients aware of important dates. With this foundation, let's move on to Power Automate to create the flow. Creating the flow in Power Automate. To begin, head to Power Automate. Then select Create and choose Automated Cloud Flow, since we want this flow to trigger automatically each time a new task is added to our SharePoint list. In the Name field, let's call our flow something descriptive like Task Notification for Important Items. This name helps us identify its purpose quickly. Now, in the Trigger selection, we'll pick when an item is created because we want the flow to activate for each new task entry. Click Create to build our flow. Configuring the trigger to connect to our SharePoint list. Now that our flow is set up, we need to configure it to watch the project tasks list in our SharePoint site. This will ensure the flow only triggers when a new task is added to this specific list. Under the Site Address drop-down, select the SharePoint site where our project tasks list is stored. In the List Name field, pick project tasks from the available lists. At this point, we've successfully configured the trigger to monitor for any new item added to this list. Now, let's set up the logic to filter which tasks should trigger an email notification. Adding the Does Not End With condition to filter tasks by title. Since we only want to send notifications for tasks that are not marked as low priority, we'll set up a condition that checks the task's title. Click plus New Step and search for condition in the action options. In the condition panel, select Title from the dynamic content list as the field to evaluate. Next, set the operator to Does Not End With. In the last field, type Low Priority. This setup means the flow will only proceed to the next steps if the task title does not end with low priority. By doing this, we're filtering out tasks that are of low importance. This helps prevent notifications for less urgent tasks, letting our team focus on high-priority items. Let's also add a note here to clarify this condition's purpose. Click the three dots, choose Add a Note, and write something like, "This condition ensures only high-priority tasks proceed to the notification step." Adding a condition for task status. To skip completed tasks, now, let's set up a second condition to ensure the flow doesn't send emails for tasks that are already completed. In the Yes branch of our first condition, the one that checks for low priority, click Add an Action and add another condition. In the first field of this condition, choose Status from the dynamic content list. Set the operator to is not equal to. In the final field, type Completed. This condition makes sure that we're not sending out notifications for tasks that are already done. This way, only active tasks are included. Let's add a quick note here as well, saying, this condition prevents notifications for tasks that are marked as completed. Adding a null check to ensure there's an assigned user. To prevent our flow from encountering an error, we need to make sure the assigned to field has a user before trying to send an email. If there's no assignee, there's no need to send a notification, so let's handle that next. In the yes branch of our second condition, the one that checks if the task is not completed, click Add an Action and add another condition. In this condition, select Assigned to Email from the dynamic content. Choose is not equal to as the operator. In the final box, click Expression, then type null and confirm. This check ensures that an email is only sent if there's actually someone assigned to the task. Let's add one more note here to make things clear. This condition checks if a user is assigned to the task before attempting to send an email. Setting up the email notification with task details. Now we're ready to add the email notification that will go out if all conditions are met. This email will include the task title, status, and due date for context. In the Yes branch of the null check, click plus, add an action, and search for Send an Email v2. In the To field, select Assigned to Email from Dynamic Content. For the subject, use something descriptive like New Important Task Assigned, Title, and insert title dynamically so the task name appears in the email. In the body, include the following message. A new task titled Title has been assigned to you and is currently in the status. This task is due by due date. Please review and take necessary action. This will provide the assignee with all the information they need about the task, including when it's due. Let's also add a final note here for documentation purposes, saying, this email is sent only for tasks of higher importance, active status, and with an assigned user. Saving and testing the flow. Now that our flow is fully configured, let's click Save to store it. To make sure everything works as expected, let's go through a few test scenarios in SharePoint. Testing scenarios. Scenario 1. High priority task with assigned user and due date. In SharePoint, create a task with a title like Team Meeting Preparation. Set status to In Progress, assign it to yourself, and add a due date. Expectation. The flow should send an email to you, as the title does not end with low priority, and the task is active with an assigned user. Scenario 2. Task marked as low priority. Create a task titled Organize Files, Low Priority. Set status to Not Started. Assign it to yourself and add a due date. Expectation. The flow should not proceed past the first condition, as the title ends with low priority. No email should be sent. Scenario 3. Completed task with assigned user. Create a task titled Update Documentation. Set status to completed. Assign it to yourself and add a due date. Expectation. The flow should stop at the second condition due to the completed status, and no email should be sent. Scenario 4. Task with no assigned user. Create a task titled Budget Review. Set status to In Progress. Leave assigned to blank and add a due date. Expectation. The flow should stop at the null check condition since there is no assigned user and no email should be sent. Wrap up. Congratulations! We've just created a flow that uses the does not end with condition to send notifications only for active, high-priority tasks with an assigned user. This flow is set to avoid notifications for tasks marked as low priority or completed, so only the most relevant tasks reach your team members. Thanks for following along. This structured approach helps keep task management efficient and focused in Power Automate.